Hello everyone! I want to thank you all again, as I usually do, for your immense support in the channel. First of all, I still can't quite believe how much support this channel's gotten, and I cannot say enough times how grateful I am for it. Like, you guys are great, you guys are so nice, so thank you, thank you, thank you again. As you probably noticed by now, we're getting close to 5k subscribers, and I wanted to try and do something special. Since the devs aren't doing too much right now, information-wise, I don't really have much to post. This seems like a good enough time as any to do something nice. And question and answer sort of videos seem to be the most common, and it gives you guys a little bit more interaction, so I was like, okay, cool, let's try one of those, I guess. So I put the post out, got a decent amount of questions or comments, and I'm going to try and respond to all of those guys. Some might have longer answers than others, especially the first one coming up, since it's pretty hefty in terms of what it means to the channel, and it's one of the most common things I hear, so of course I'm going to try and put a lot of energy in that one. But I'll try and answer all of them to the best of my abilities without rambling on too much or anything like that. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I want to answer the question as best I can, so we'll see if we can strike that balance, I suppose. Alrighty, let's get started then. So, I actually discovered the Isle midway into 2018, something like that. But it looked like absolute trash at the time, so I just ignored it and moved on. Also, early access, we all know how early access is these days. If something's marked as early access, it's probably not going to go anywhere anytime soon, if ever, and it's not worth the time. Or the money, of course. So basically, I ignored it until later in early 2019. I'll have a picture of the exact date up. But anyway, that was after my boss had actually convinced me to buy Ark, after me ignoring it for 50,000 years because Ark. It actually turned out to be pretty fun, despite all of the issues with optimization and all that. And I really enjoyed Ark, so I was like, okay, this one turned out to be alright. Maybe the Isle will turn out to be alright too. So eventually I ended up buying the Isle along with the Forest because we were doing a lot of survival games at the time. And yeah, that's how I ended up finding that. And then a few of my other friends I convinced to join, and I actually really got into the game. It was pretty fun. As for when I started reporting on it, so I eventually found Ravenous's channel, as we all do. I think it was from the Reddit. I don't really remember how that turned out anymore, honestly. But I found Ravenous's channel and I followed it all the time. Like, every single time he posted something, I was right there. I always wanted to be online when he was posting a video because I was just so interested to see what the next updates would bring. I'm sure you all understand that. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. And eventually, as we all know, he had real-life stuff to tend to. He was trying to keep his job and go full-time at his job. And so he had to put more focus on that, which is understandable. I'd end up doing the same thing if I had to. But it, as we all know, left a huge void of information for people who didn't stalk the Discord. And during this time, I wasn't even on the Discord. I don't like big Discords. I don't want to be in big Discords. They're just... I don't like it. I don't like interacting with massive groups of people. But I joined the Discord because Ravenous had stopped posting at that point. It'd been a few months, and as we know, a lot of the information doesn't get outside the Discord. So I'm like, okay, I'll join the Discord so I can keep myself and my friends informed. And so I joined the Discord and had been stalking the posts there, whatever the devs said, that sort of stuff. And at some point or another, I was like, you know what? I could, in theory, because I'm already doing this, because by now I was taking screenshots to show my friends, and pasting the stuff from Phase 2, all of that fun stuff. I was already doing all of that. So I'm like, you know what? I don't know of anyone else who has taken over the void Ravenous left, so why not? I was mostly doing the videos for friends because it wasn't that too terribly difficult, it wasn't too terribly time consuming, and it was a bit easier than them scrolling up through Discord to look at a bunch of pasted crap I sent them throughout the day. So I was like, okay, I'll just do it in video form, and if people find it, they find it. If they don't, they don't. Most YouTube channels, as we all know, don't get very much attention, so honestly, I expected to be the same way. But the first video I posted ended up actually getting quite a few views. I think it was a few hundred, I don't really remember anymore. And that was a shock. I mean, we know how YouTube is. Most people who just start out end up getting like maybe 5 if they're lucky, and those 5 would have been my friends. So I was like, okay, cool. That was definitely a shocker, and so I was like, okay, I guess I'll continue doing this then. People are enjoying it. I mean, I used to watch Ravenous all the time, and it was frustrating not knowing what's going on. The devs don't say much outside of the Discord, and it's for people who don't want to be in the Discord, can't be in the Discord, don't like Discord, blah blah blah. It's frustrating. Like, you don't know what's going on, you don't see most of the things that end up posted, especially then. I don't remember if they were doing dev blogs yet or not. I don't know. But even then, a lot of the stuff in Phase 2 and this questions answered in the Discord never end up seeing the light of day unless someone posts them somewhere. So that's how that started. Basically just wanted to fill the void, and it picked up pretty fast. I'm still shocked it did, but I'm really glad it did, because I remember what it was like to be on the other side, not knowing what was going on, what sort of things the devs were doing. It was frustrating. Like, I really do wish they would communicate more. Me being here is basically a testament to their inability to tell people what's going on. I love doing what I do. It's very fun, it's relaxing in a way. Minus the 7 AM streams, that's not fun. That's not relaxing. But everything else, I like seeing that people enjoy everything, and yeah, I see now why Ravenous did it, because it's really rewarding to see people actually, you know, get to see what the devs are talking about, get to see information about the game they no doubt must be passionate about if they're hanging around here. Okay, so with this one, I've already got this all sorted out with Punch Packet and all that. I actually had my main Discord account on the Isles official server for a while, and I made another one for the YouTube channel to keep them separate and all that. So with the multi-account thing, I had to sort this out with Punch Packet for a little bit, but it's all sorted out, it's all done, so we're all good in this front, so don't worry about it, we're good. Alright, so I do have a few recordings that I'm working on, and possibly by the time this gets posted, one of them will already be out. But, I do plan on doing some gameplay stuff soon. Hopefully it's entertaining. I don't want to go overboard with the, editing, because that can be really annoying, but I don't want to do too little editing, because that can look lazy, you know how it is. So I'll work on that as best I can, and hopefully it'll look good for you guys. There's also streaming, so that one's a little bit... I don't think I'll be able to do streaming. my internet is absolute hot garbage, and if I try to stream, it really causes lag issues with online games. I can do some test runs on offline games, like if I were to do, say, Prehistoric Kingdom or something like that, because other dinosaur games was mentioned before. I could try looking and seeing if my computer and whatnot can handle offline games. I will check on that. But ones like the Isle, unfortunately, I don't think that'll work out, because it'll lag just so much. But we'll see. Maybe someday I'll be able to manage something like that, but for the moment, unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to do that. Favorite IRL dinosaur? So, I don't care how cliche it sounds or anything like that. Tyrannosaurus Rex is my favorite dinosaur. Always has been ever since I can remember liking dinosaurs. And probably always will be unless something magically changes, honestly. He was the one who got me into dinosaurs to begin with. The design, everything about Tyrannosaurus, I just think they're neat. And this one kinda runs along the same line as the other one just a bit ago. Favorite dinosaur coming in the recode, or well, the one I'm looking forward to the most. Probably Ceratosaurus and Rex. Ceratosaurus a little bit more so because it'll actually show up sometime soon, hopefully. Ceratosaurus should be one of the ones coming up soon. I really hope it is indeed then one of the next ones after Packy's done. But whatever the case, it'll be sooner than the T-Rex, so we won't be seeing Rex anytime soon, so I'm most excited for Ceratosaurus right now. I really love Ceratosaurus. I hope they give it a lot more attention in this one than they did with Legacy. I hope it has a little bit more of a special ability than just the eating rotten meat thingamajig that they're gonna do with it. I hope to see some sort of special attack with it. I assume it'll get one. It sounds like all dinosaurs are gonna get one, but you know, I really hope it's viable this time around. Legacy, it wasn't too good. We know that though. Troodon's another one I'm looking forward to. It's small, it's cute, the Mimic and the Venom sound really interesting, so I'm excited to see what they do with that one. This one is a little odd. I don't know how Spinosaurus is going to be played. We don't have any real information on it. But Deinosuchus doesn't get very much food from fish. It definitely has to rely on players in order to feed itself, or generally speaking, it's going to end up eating other Deinosuchus at this point. But Spino, we don't really know much about, and I don't have anything special from the devs information-wise. They don't talk to me, I don't really talk to them, except for the one time with Punch Packet I mentioned earlier. About all I've heard of Spinosaurus is that it's gonna probably be able to do the hippo walk, as they've called it, where it can walk along the bottom of the water, like, rivers and whatnot. That's about all I know. I don't see them as making it a fish-only sort of thing, honestly. The way they've designed it, it can go on land just fine, it looks like. So I don't see it as being a fish-only dinosaur. I think it's gonna be... I wouldn't say similar to how it was in Legacy, but I think it'll be able to do PvP and all that just fine. The Isle focuses itself pretty heavily on PvP, so I really don't see them skipping out on that at all. Dino's Bite Force. Well, as much as I'd like to say yes, I honestly have no idea, but I'm leaning towards no. Just about every time I've seen people bring up buffing Dino's Bite Force, Punch Packet's been all, it is perfectly balanced, don't worry about it, he's an ambush, he's not supposed to spam left click, this, that, and the other. Personally, I agree. Dino's pretty weak right now. The fact that Stego can go around smashing faces in and all that, well, Dino is pretty defenseless even inside the water against things like Carnos and Stegos. It's pretty bad. Like, Dinos takes 5 hours to grow, and yet it's pathetic when compared to a Stego. Like, I understand it's supposed to ambush, it can basically kill a Tenonto and all that without much effort, that sort of thing, but it's still kind of sucky that it can't really defend itself when it has to. Because there are times where it can't escape very well. Like, I've seen Stegos wall off sections of rivers, I've seen them stand along riverbanks where so nothing would come up to drink in them. And I mean, sure, the dino can keep going down the river, but Stego can just keep on following it. There's not much it can really do. Dino's supposed to be pretty strong in the water, especially since it's limited to only being in the water. So I think it should have an advantage in the water. Like, you're stuck in the water, man. You should at least be able to defend yourself in there. I thought Dino was supposed to be able to, like, be super scary and stuff, like how in the trailer it's threatening a T-Rex and all that, but he can't even handle a Stego. I'm not sure why they made it threaten a T-Rex in the trailer, aside from just to look cool. Rambling aside, unfortunately, I don't know. I don't talk to the devs, they don't talk to me. I have not seen any sign that Dino is going to be buffed. If anything, it sounds like they're going to keep it the same. So, unfortunately, it's probably a no, but I can't say for certain. Ew. As for the other one, I assume that's answered by now. I would hope, but if not, girl, I am a girl. Yeah, I feel that pretty hard. Too many words, not enough sleep. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Yeah, I feel like this is my answer to a lot of these questions. I wish I knew, but honestly, I really don't. You right, though. I mean, when I say focused, I should probably say he's not answering questions that people are answering that people are asking for the most part, aside from ones relating to the stress test and all that. Basically, they're doing other things that do not involve giving us information about, you know, update 4 and so on and so forth. There have been a few, but all in all, yeah, not a lot going on. Aloe is in the void along with, like, T-Rex and all those other guys. Who knows when it's gonna come, if it'll come anytime soon, that sort of thing. We really don't know. I haven't seen any news on Aloe whatsoever, so I imagine it's gonna be a really long wait for him, unfortunately. Channel-wise, I use whatever channel the devs comment on. I don't watch any particular channel, I just watch the devs' comments, so it saves me a lot of scrolling and a lot of looking through various channels. But usually they just comment in the general discussion. Every now and again they'll comment in other places, but generally speaking, they're gonna be in the general chat. It sounds like they're gonna try and push off the dinos for a little bit longer and focus more on the mechanics instead of releasing playables with each one? Question mark? That's what they're kind of trying to make it sound like anyway. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but how I think it'll be is a bunch of mechanics near the front, and from what Philippe, I think it was Philippe, it was either Philippe or Punch, one of the two, they said the dinos are going to be kind of off to the side. It's sort of like the continued development sort of thing. At least that's what they made it sound like. So I'm imagining lots of mechanics and then dinos kinda poking in every now and again. Which, I mean, in theory is really nice. We hope it works out. Um, he, they did say nothing's gonna be taken out dino-wise. I do recall Dondi saying he really wanted to put an Albertosaurus, and I do remember him being excited to redo the roadmap, but he was the only one to make it sound like it might change decently. All of what Punch and the others have said is basically a bunch of mechanics and then dinos kind of hanging out. As of recording this, I have 205, I think it is. It's not a whole lot, and most of that's gonna be AFK in a bush or something, because, you know, the Isle. But, it might be a little bit more by the time this is actually posted. Not that it matters very much, but yeah, it's 205 right now. Not a whole lot, especially compared to others. I've seen people with thousands and thousands of hours in the Isle. But I don't play it that much, to be honest. Once the stress test came out, I did put a fair few more hours in, though. I think, judging from Steam, it's been 10 hours the past 2 weeks that I put in, compared to prior it was... I hadn't played it much at all since Update 2 came out, like the first time it came out. And then I checked on it again once the human structures and stuff were put in, but I think that was the last I played of it until the stress test came out, aside from like taking pictures of my dinos because I could. I did like a little Pokemon Snap session with my T-Rex because of the male detailing changing, and I was showing someone the difference between the two, but aside from that I haven't really played. And I mean, I wouldn't even really count that playing, but, you know. This one I honestly don't have any idea. The devs don't talk to me, I don't talk to them. I don't get any special information from them. I just follow what they talk about on the public Discord, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. I didn't actually notice it either. And I don't remember if I heard anything about that. And this is a relatively old question, but yeah, I don't know, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Oh boy, this one's a little difficult because I don't have any interest in any of the other dinosaur survival games currently out and playable and whatnot. So, don't know. The fact that it'll have humans and stuff will make it unique compared to the others, because the others are like dinosaurs only, basically. But the owl's gonna have a human factor to it as well. So I think that'll definitely put it apart and make it a little bit more unique. It sounds like the owl's trying to be more brutal with what it does as well, and the special abilities are definitely unique as well. It's gonna stand out. Whether or not quality-wise it'll continue to be the best one that I've managed to find, don't know. Depends on who pops out of nowhere and goes, "Hey guys, look at my new thing." It'd be great if there were more to choose from, but honestly, the ones I've seen thus far, there's usually something weird about the graphics, or the mechanics are incredibly boring. I think all the other ones right now are still in their like super infant stages, which doesn't help matters. I haven't seen any that have been impressive so far, to be honest. So we'll see. I mean, it depends on how far in the future and if the Isle actually can manage to develop something without rehauling it again. They claim this will be the last time they recode everything, but we'll see. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. There's not very many out right now, and none of them are very impressive to me at all, to be honest. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to add this. The Isle actually, the style they're going for is different from other survival games as well. Like, the other ones are going either for hyper-realism, like Saurian, which is gonna go nowhere because of it, or they're going for as close to realism as they can. The Isle, their designs, they're not going for that. They're going for things that either look cool slash scary, or what have you. And honestly, I prefer that a lot more because it's just all around more fits with what I'm interested in. So until another survival game with dinos decides to do that as well, it will not have my interest at all. Like, it just, it's not unique. I don't care for it. Like, you can go as quote unquote realistic as you want, but it's just going to change in another year or so where something else is found out, and then suddenly all your quote unquote realism is no longer valid. So, yeah, I don't care. I like what the Owl's going for, aside from certain things, which I'll get into in the next question, I imagine. And yeah, uh, again, quality wise, don't know. But the style the Isle's going for definitely fits more with what I'm looking for. Alright, this question, this is a really good one. I really, really like this one. It's a bit hard to answer in some ways, but I will try my best. So as far as new dinos go, I'll hold off on that for just a moment. The kinda new one, Anki, I do not like the design choice they did on Anki. I just said a moment ago, I don't care about realism and stuff like that. But making Anki look like a mammal, I'm not a fan. I do not like it, I hate it. It goes against the entire purpose of what Anki is supposed to be, which is a tank. It looks incredibly flimsy right now. It doesn't look like it doesn't look like Anki. I don't like it. I hate it. I know some people like it, and I'll Punch is one of those people who likes it, but I don't care. I hate it, and I will never like it. There is no way I'm going to warm up to that design. Anki is the favorite dinosaur of one of my friends, and she was super disappointed to see how it was designed. And just seeing that was pretty hard. And I mean, personally, I have never been the biggest fan of Anki. I like it, but it's never been like a top favorite dinosaur or anything. But what they did with its design, it gives major concerns about what they're going to do for it ability-wise and all that. Because right now, it sounds and looks like they're gonna speed it up and give it a bunch of weird, unnecessary stuff. And it's like, people played Anki because it was a tank, and yeah, it was slow, but it could chase off everything else that tried to eat it. Like, it wasn't super duper worth the time unless you were playing risky business and really, really wanted to challenge yourself to try and take down an Anki. It wasn't worth taking on an Anki. Like, and especially with like the fracture mechanic and stuff coming up. I imagine it would, be really good in that department, but anyway, as far as new dinosaurs go, ah, boy. I know Deinosuchus is one that even before it was released, I wasn't really sold on. The fact that it's limited to being in the water makes it rely on populated servers. Because right now, especially the AI do not drink, and the land AI haven't even really been spawning very much. But, Dino is gonna rely on servers that have a lot of people, and he's gonna rely on hoping that someone is going to be in the area where he's lurking. And then he has to hope that it's not a stego or something, because then he's out of luck. He can't do anything. He's done. And yeah, Deinosuchus is one that I think he's gonna need a lot of work. Like, if the AI is made to eventually drink, which it sounds like they want to do, it'll be a little bit better. But right now, if the servers go empty again like they have the past several updates, Dinosuchus is gonna starve to death. It'll be done. It doesn't get enough fish, and AI doesn't come to it, or even come to drink, I should say. Uh, so yeah, Dino I think is the big one that I'm concerned about. All the others, as far as I'm aware, they seem alright. Kentro, I'm kind of excited to see what they do with it. I hope it's fancy and special from Stego. The shoulder thing looks, if they do something with the shoulder, might be interesting. I can't think of any concerns for the new ones. Well, I mean, I could go on Acro, but it's basically the same line as Anki. I just don't like what they did with the design. He looks morbidly obese rather than just beefed up. He looks like he has literal fat rolls and a tumor on him. It just, I'm not a fan. Which sucks because Acro was one of my favorites. And that is why I'm not looking forward to Acro now, because I'm worried they're gonna ruin his design and he's just not gonna be Acro anymore. But we'll see what happens. For the new ones, again, I mean, Megalania, I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but it could be fun. At least it's not bound to the water like Dinosuchus is. So I imagine it shouldn't have any blaring issues, but we'll see. I think Dinosuchus is the only one that I'm concerned about, aside from Anki, which technically not new, but kinda is, you know. Boy, we'll see though. I mean, maybe they'll make it worth it someday in the future. Like, I know they want to flesh out water and all that, but it's gonna take a lot. And in that meantime, I don't see a lot of people wanting to risk playing Dino on an empty server, or during hours that are near empty. Oh yeah, I forgot again in the main recording when I did this question about the concerns for future dinos. I guess I could, like, I'm sure most people expected me to answer Maggie because of, you know, all the stuff going on. And yeah, there's a little concern for Maggie, but to be honest, if they gave it some crowd control just to keep things at bay or stun them long enough, or if it had enough stamina to use those abilities and waste the stamina of its predator, then honestly it would work out fine. At least in my mind. It just needs to be able to hold up its main predators long enough that it can get away from them. I mean, it's never gonna be able to deal with like a T-Rex or anything like that, but who expects it to? It's more things like Cerato and whatnot, the smaller guys. I think some crowd control and it should be alright. At least in my mind. Like, I'm not great with all of the balance things and all that, but I think things can be done to make it viable in some way or another. I'm not super duper concerned about Maggie. At least it's not locked into water or something like that. The very second I saw Dinosuchus, I was incredibly unsure about it. Just because everything that's involved with it. Like, something like Minmi, if it's locked into water, it's a herbivore. So it'll always have its food around it. It will not have to rely on full servers or people coming to its particular area and hoping those people that come to its particular area aren't larger dinos. But Dinosuchus, yeah, it's gonna take a lot of work on him. This one would be a good idea. Yeah, I might try and look into doing that sometime. I'm not super familiar with some of the more obscure stuff they've mentioned in the past, but I've seen some lists going around and I can try looking around, seeing if I can gather all the ones that are confirmed at some point or another for being in the game. So yeah, I'll try and look into doing that sometime. It'll be a good one to do. And that should about do it. I think that was about all of them. There was about, I think it's 24 questions or something like that. I can do another one of these another time if you guys would like. Um, I know I need to change my current video format just a little bit as well. I commissioned a friend of mine who drew a really neat Strata with the logo and all this other stuff, and I still haven't used it yet. I need to get a background for it, and so I was working on that, and then I kept getting busy, and anyway, I still need to use that, so look forward to that eventually, TM. And yeah, thank you guys again. I hope you guys have a great day, and hopefully this video gets to you when I was hoping it would. See you all again.